Welcome, fight fans. Today we spotlight a 3-division world champion and one of the most feared fighters in boxing, Terence Crawford.
Jab from Spence, then delivers a jab of his own, and Brooke goes to the body with a nice right hand.
Known as the boogeyman of the welterweight division, Crawford's journey to the top wasn't easy. He overcame a tough childhood and now stands undefeated. Grover Wiley was 25 and 6 years into his pro boxing career, which would eventually see him retire the great Julio Cesar Chavez. At the same time, Terence "Bud" Crawford Jr. was just a junior high student. Their trainer had a plan that wasn't fair. He wanted to challenge Bud, who was unhappy and on the edge of adolescence. Midge Minor, a grumpy former amateur boxer, saw Bud's talent and was frustrated by his habit of switching to a southpaw stance. The sparring sessions, pairing Bud with an experienced pro, were meant to fix that. When Bud had switched to his left hand, Grover hit him with a tricky combo, a shot to the elbow followed by an uppercut aimed at his stomach. But instead of switching back, Bud seemed to enjoy the challenge. Bud liked to hurt his opponents. Wiley recalls it felt like a hammer hitting his nose, denting his cartilage. Over a decade had passed since Wiley had entered the CW Boxing Club as the only white kid, never backing down. He had never given up until 13-year-old Bud Crawford hit him with that left hand. Then he turned to Midge and said, "Can't do it. You can't change this kid." There might be a better fighter out there right now, but probably only one. Still, none are quite like Crawford. He's a mix of different qualities. In the ring, he switches between left and right, orthodox to southpaw, which seems to reflect something deeper about him. He can quickly switch from being good to bad, from cruelty to kindness. He's not full of contradictions, but rather his conflicting traits work together in a unique balance. Crawford is a devoted father to 5 kids, but he's also on probation. He once fantasized about crushing an opponent's skull, but now he plans trips to Africa to deliver medical supplies. Yet, he still enjoys moments of aggression, like when he boasts about knocking out Jeff Horn, the rugged champion he's set to fight for the welterweight title. At 140 pounds, Crawford was the first unified champion since 2006. He has been named Fighter of the Year twice by ESPN and once by the Boxing Writers Association. His record shows his ability to enjoy causing pain to his opponents. If an opponent disrespects him, like when Horn's trainer called him a princess, he might drag out the fight just to inflict more pain and humiliation. Crawford's childhood was tough. His parents often argued, especially when they were drunk. His dad was in and out of his life, but when he was around, they were close. His dad believed in him, calling him their $1 million baby. His mom, however, often said he wouldn't amount to anything. She believed in tough love. Miss Deborah, his mom, wasn't big on showing affection, even more so after her brother Michael was killed. This loss deeply affected young Crawford, causing nightmares and a fear of being alone. Despite her tough demeanor, Miss Deborah let Crawford sleep with her when he was scared, often finding him with his fists clenched, a trait he shared with his late Uncle Michael. Crawford began boxing at age 7, showing a natural talent that many believed he inherited. His mom's harsh discipline, using belts, sticks, and whatever else was handy, taught him toughness and resilience. Although the beatings hurt, they also built his pain tolerance and fearlessness. This tough upbringing helped him conquer his fears, whether it was a belt, a casket, or a tough opponent like Wiley. Bud vowed never to smoke or drink as they headed out for a morning run. They would run 3 to 5 miles before Wiley dropped him off at school. Bud was often expelled for fighting, making him a natural fit for the CW Boxing Club, a haven for many of North Omaha's toughest neighborhoods. Brian McIntyre, known as Bo Mac, would later become Bud's trainer. Bo Mac had a rough past but found salvation in boxing. Carl Washington, who saved Bo Mac, eventually left most of the training to Midge, an older, cranky trainer who formed a unique bond with Bud. Bud's style was a mix of power and rhythm, confusing even his toughest gym mates. Despite the tough love from Midge and the inspiration from legendary boxers on film, Bud's technique remained uniquely his own. The CW gym was a place where everyone fought everyone, and Bud, despite his anger and troubled home life, found a sense of belonging there. His mother, Deborah, never showed much affection, always criticizing him harshly. He longed for her approval but never received it. Bud's temper often got him into trouble, even outside of the ring. Once, while counting his dice game winnings in his car, he was shot at but survived. The incident marked a turning point where he chose not to seek vengeance and instead focused on his boxing career. Terence Crawford made a powerful debut in March 2008, knocking out Brian Cummings in just 26 seconds. Cummings entered the ring with a record of 2-0, both wins by knockout. By the end of that year, Crawford had risen to 5-0, finishing with a second-round TKO of Michael Williams in November. In March 2009, Crawford won a 4-round unanimous decision over Travis Hartman. This victory was followed by 4 consecutive knockouts, the last being a second-round TKO of Corey Somerville in December. By 2010, Crawford had an impressive record of 12-0 with 9 knockouts, including stoppages over Marty Robbins and Ron Boyd. Crawford's 2011 was marked by a first-round TKO of Anthony Mora in February and a second-round TKO of Derek Campos in July. He ended the year with an 8-round unanimous decision over Angel Rios. In 2012, Crawford continued to showcase his power and skill, achieving 4 stoppage wins to improve his record to 19-0 with 15 knockouts. Then, in March 2013, Crawford scored his biggest victory yet with a 10-round unanimous decision over Breedis Prescott. He followed this with a 6-round TKO of Alejandro Sanabria in June. In October, he won a 10-round unanimous decision over the previously undefeated Alex Klimov. On March 1, 2014, Terence Crawford went to Glasgow, Scotland to fight WBO lightweight world champion Ricky Burns at the Scottish Exhibition Centre. Despite being in Burns' hometown, Crawford dominated the fight and won a clear 12-round unanimous decision, claiming his first world title. Crawford made his first title defense on June 28, 2014, against the previously unbeaten Yuriorkis Gamboa. Crawford stopped Gamboa in the 9th round. He finished the year strong with a 12-round unanimous decision win over Ray Beltran in November. These impressive performances earned Crawford the Biting Writers Association of America's award for the 2014 Fighter of the Year. In April 2015, Terence Crawford moved up in weight to become the WBO 140-pound champion by defeating Thomas Delorme with a 6th-round TKO. He defended this title 6 times, adding the WBC belt in July 2016, after a unanimous decision win over the previously unbeaten Victor Postal title. Crawford won in stunning fashion with a 3rd-round knockout, finishing Ndongo with a powerful body shot. After conquering the 140-pound division, Crawford moved up to welterweight. In his first fight at this new weight, he won the WBO World Welterweight title with a 9th-round TKO over Australia's Jeff Horn. Best fighters in the sport, Crawford quickly became one of the top welterweights. In October 2018, he stopped the unbeaten Jose Benavidez Jr. in the 12th round. In April 2019, he secured a 6th-round TKO win over 2-division champion Amir Khan in December. On November 2020, Crawford defeated former champion Kell Brook in just 4 rounds. On October 20th, 2021, Crawford further proved his status as the world's best welterweight by stopping 2-time world champion Shawn Porter with a 10th-round TKO, marking the first time Porter had ever been stopped in his career. David Evanesian. This win brought his record in world title bouts to an impressive 17-0, 14 KOs. The victory set the stage for a highly anticipated showdown with undefeated unified WBC, WBA, and IBF World Welterweight Champion Errol Spence Jr. The big fight took place at the T-Mobile Arena, with a sold-out crowd of 19,990 fans watching live on Showtime pay-per-view. What was by Crawford, who won with a 9th-round TKO to become the first undisputed welterweight champion of the 4-belt era. It means everything because of who I took the belts from, Crawford said. They doubted me, said I wasn't good enough to beat these welterweights, but I kept faith and prayed for the chance to show the world how great I am. Tonight, I believe I did just that. Spence started aggressively in the first round, using jabs and body shots. Crawford, known for switching between southpaw and orthodox stances, mainly fought as a southpaw. He knocked Spence down in the second round with a powerful right cross, making the first time Spence had been down in his career. "We practiced that," Crawford explained. "We knew we needed a strong jab against Spence. The jab stopped him in his tracks." In the third round, Spence tried to fight back, landing a big left hook, but Crawford stayed strong, landing a precise counter right that staggered Spence again. In the seventh round, Crawford knocked Spence down twice, first with a right uppercut and later with a right hook. At the time of the stoppage, Crawford was leading on all scorecards, 79-70, and had landed 185 punches to Spence's 96, with an impressive 50% connect rate. After the fight, Crawford showed respect for Spence and acknowledged the importance of their matchup. "Becoming a world champion was a dream," Crawford said. "I'm an overachiever. People doubted me, but I have proved them wrong. I want to thank Spence and his team because without them, this wouldn't have been possible." What are your thoughts on Terence? Let us know in the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.